France now, where the country is still mired in political chaos almost a week after the Prime Minister Michel Barnier was kicked out in a no-confidence vote. This afternoon, right now, Emmanuel Macron is set to meet with all the country's political parties except the far-right National Rally and the far-left France Unbowed. The French president's office saying only those who were in a, quote, framework of compromise were invited to attend. France's parliament has been divided almost evenly between a left alliance, Macron centrists, and the far-right since the snap election he called in July. Last week, the Prime Minister was ousted over a cost-cutting draft budget for 2025 that was meant to tackle France's massive deficit. We're going to talk more about these latest developments with our French politics editor, Marc Perelman, who joins me on the set. Marc, tell us a bit more about this meeting today that's talking about a method to move forward.
Yes, Emmanuel Macron is trying to find the magic bullet to form a government that will last longer than Michel Barnier's, the shortest tenure. 90 days, it didn't work. So what he's trying to do is, instead of him just picking a prime minister and then see if it flies with the other political party and the fractured parliament you just divided, he has convened, as we speak, it started at 2 p.m. Paris time, a meeting with the leaders of the different parties, except the National Rally and France Unbowed, because they say they're not willing to compromise. So you have the Communist Party, the Greens, and the Socialists on the left. You have the Macron bloc and the Conservative Party on the right. And there'll be no discussion about a program of government, a platform, and so on. It's a meeting to discuss a method whereby a prime minister and hence a government will be designated in the coming days. Let's not forget that we were told after Michel Barnier was ousted that Emmanuel Macron would appoint a prime minister very, very quickly. He realizes that he cannot make another mistake, that obviously he called the snap election, which he admitted, or somewhat admitted, was probably the wrong move. But now he needs to make sure that a budget is passed fairly soon, and to make sure that he has a new prime minister. It won't be tomorrow, because there's the weekly cabinet meeting, and the person sitting there will be Michel Barnier.
Michel Barnier. So here we have this baby step toward perhaps having a new prime minister one day. I mean, when can we expect this to actually happen?
Well, the problem is that those parties can sit together. Let's see if they stay together during this meeting this afternoon, but then come up with a solution. The problem is that the three parties from the left are saying, we, our leftist coalition, gain most votes in the legislative election. Yes, we're far from a majority, but we should have a leftist prime minister. This is our condition. We want the other parties to agree that there should be a leftist prime minister. The Conservatives are saying, we don't want a prime minister from the left. Yes, it's a coalition, but they cannot stand each other. There'll be divisions and it won't work. And Macron has his own red lines. Essentially, he doesn't want to raise taxes, and he doesn't want his pension reform that was passed with a lot of pain and controversy to be undone. And so we find ourselves with all those red lines. They're hoping that they can agree on certain things, first and foremost, the budget, and maybe not huge reforms, but maybe a minimal program of government for the next 6 months, because in 6 months, in June, July, the president will again have the possibility to call a snap election. He cannot do this during 1 year after doing so last July. So they're hoping that they can find a way to function. There's no guarantee it will work, but at least the fact that Emmanuel Macron is consulting with them and not deciding on his own is seen by them as a goodwill gesture. Let's see if it indeed will work.
All right. I know you'll be keeping an eye on that for us. Marc Perelman, our French politics editor at France 24.